Spade.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Bourbon and Boxing, where we got the smoothest sits with the hardest hits in the podcast boxing world, baby. On episode 98, man, you know we had a mega weekend. We're going to touch on what we saw, and we still got a nice fight going on tonight, but we're going to cover what we saw on Friday and what we saw on Saturday, and we're going to talk about two future fights that I really want to get into and I
Well,
really want
see,
to get my guys' opinion
yeah,
on.
see,
And you
I
reading
got
my mind. I already know you are, bro. I know you reading my mind. But let's jump in to the Friday fiasco, as I like to call it, because nothing about that card was what I thought it was going to be. I was hyping this card. I was like, oh man, you're gonna get these three dudes on the same card, and we're gonna get something magnificent, something different in the middle of Times Square up in New York City. Completely different. But we didn't get what I thought we was gonna get. And let's jump into the first fight on that card, which was Teofimo Lopez versus Barboza. Man, did Barboza just really disappoint me, or did Teo look that damn good? Tell me what you thought about that one, man.
first of all, first of all, brother, dude, that was my first time seeing him fight. Was not impressed, bro. Was not impressed at all, bro. He and then I'm gonna start off with this. The press conference, the first ones he was talking, all that game. Then when they got closer to the fight, it was like he was starting to respect, like, "Hey, we're gonna put on a great show." Like real killer instinct go to, bro. Like you lost that like within 2 days. Like, you did you peep that?
I
Did you
absolutely
did
did.
hey
I
the
couldn't
respect
believe.
before a couple weeks out before the fight, he was disrespectful.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh when they
I
got
thought,
close, we're gonna put on a good. I thought they was gonna
yeah,
hug each other. Like,
yeah,
damn, like and on the face off, like, damn, bro, you ain't got the
yeah,
same energy you just had before you before.
yeah.
And they come to Tio, like, man, I be wanting to skip, but I can't. I'm gonna stay on this topic. Coming to Tio though, he gotta he could have stopped dude, bro.
You
He
think
could
he
have
could
stopped
have?
dude. He
I
could have
almost
stopped
feel like
dude,
he's
man.
lacking some power for some reason. Is
Nah,
it
he
the
like
weight
it.
that he's moved up to?
He
But
lacking power,
should
but
have
the
been
speed
able
was
to knock
there.
him out. He should have
That
been able to
speed.
knock him out, I feel like. And maybe
He
not clobber him out, but I think he should have been able to get a stoppage in that fight. And he just
putting
kind
the
of seemed
press on
to,
him.
yeah, and he
Yeah.
did at certain points, and then there was points where he just didn't when he needed to. And then when he wasn't doing anything, but Barca, but whatever the fuck his name is, he just wasn't
Barbosa.
doing shit. He wasn't doing anything to really.
Yeah.
He was throwing some punches, but he wasn't really active. He wasn't trying to cut the ring off. He wasn't doing anything that I was expecting him because I was pretty high on this dude and what I've seen in previous fights. And I thought, man, if this is a challenge that Teo is going to take, this is going to be one of the best challenges for him. And bro, it was just a complete opposite. Now, I was a little more critical about that fight on what I saw, saying, hey, Barboza just wasn't active enough for me to think that Teo was that good. And Teo was moving and doing what he needed to do, but I wasn't seeing the power or the killer instinct to go in there and end that fight when he could have and maybe
Yeah.
should have.
It was like he was playing with his food. I ain't gonna lie. It was like he was playing with his food for real. Like he was just playing with him. But on T.O., I ain't gonna talk to Barbosa dude because he really, I don't even know
No,
where he came from, to be honest. But
I've watched him in at least
T.O.,
three other fights, and that's not the same guy I've seen in previous fights. And it could have been Styles make fights. We say that all the time, man. Styles make fights, and maybe Teo's style just wasn't fit for him, and he had no clue on how to break it down or how to get around that style. That because I we say if you stand toe to toe and you actually fight Teo, then he's a pretty elusive guy. He's not
no,
hit.
dude, not to cut you off, but dude, pressure ain't good either. Because
No,
T.O. got problems with people when you press T.O., he got a problem with you all that doing
yeah,
that and take that away from him. and you really in there, like I'm when we get to that person, I'm gonna say it. But I don't want to skip. I don't want to skip and go here and
Okay.
there.
So we actually going to
But
talk about three future fights because I already know who you talking about, and I
no, no,
already
no, no, no. I don't even know. That's why I was saying, like, I don't even know. Like, that was something different because I ain't really thinking right now. I'm just, but I'm talking about like how the person fought that night. If
mhm,
dude would have fought like that, then it would have been something different. But I don't want to skip to that person yet until we talk about him. But
yeah.
T.O. I mean T.O. He looked he. I mean he cool. I wouldn't really hit the dude or was like shot because I never seen dude before. But I think like his speed was there. Like he was picking him apart for sure. Like I seen
Mhm.
all that, but and it's something about his face. It seemed like his face get bruised up easy now since he moved up. Like I don't remember 135 T.O. face getting damaged like how it's getting damaged now. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
I
know.
did see
Like
that at the end of the fight. He was a little puffy on his face and stuff like
yeah.
that.
I
Uh,
mean, it's fighting, but I don't remember like when you fighting somebody, man. I don't know, man. Like,
and that could be some Botox shit too, because that motherfucker be looking like he be Botox and shit, like up there wearing makeup during the press
I
conference
hope
and shit.
not, not, not,
And
not
thinking he
boxing.
brought Michaels.
I
Like,
hope not. But, but what you was thinking? What you think overall
uh,
with T.O.
I
or
mean,
whatever?
I think Teo at 140 should stay at 140 because if your power didn't
Oh
go
no, no.
at 140,
Oh
he's got
yeah,
to stay at 140. And he doesn't want to go to 147 and face who I think everybody wants him to face. That's a fucking bad move on his part. It's a good overall fight, and I don't want to like you. I don't want to skip
yeah.
too far ahead.
We ain't gonna skip too far
But
right
I'm
now.
gonna stick to the
Yeah.
140 division for
Cause now you
Teo.
thinking what I'm thinking, but you thinking what I'm saying, and you saying what I'm thinking, and I don't want you to say what we thinking.
Exactly. Exactly. So for me, let's keep Teo at 140. He can compete against anybody in the 140
Yeah,
division.
why everybody trying to
He
run from
can.
140? You know why I think they people trying to run from 140, bro? Gary Anton Russell, bro. I don't think they want to fight him, bro. I
That's
don't
who
think
he should be
I
lining up to fight.
I
Is
don't.
that
You
should be
don't
an
hear nobody mention
unfair.
it. You don't hear nobody
Yeah,
mention his name or nothing. And he got the other belt.
yeah,
They don't
everybody
want
talking
that.
about Lalo. They're talking about Subaru Mateus. They're talking about Tom Smith, but ain't nobody talking about Russell. And they took that 1L and tried to write him off, and then he came back and looked spectacular in his last fight. And he
that
told everybody, "Hey, like we said, everybody has an off night. Styles make fights."
I
So
don't think he had an off night. I think he was betting on himself too much to get the knockout. Like if he would have just came in and boxed a little and then broke dude down a little, it was a top to him. It wasn't no bad loss though. Like it wasn't one of those like, damn, is he going to be the same when he come back? That was one of them losses. Like, man, let me go in the lab. I was tripping when he's watching. I know he was like, man, I was tripping, man. I got it. I'm about to watch him because I was tripping.
yeah,
Like it was one of them losses for him. But for me, I'm saying like, ain't nobody calling his name, man. I ain't heard like it's
no,
y'all.
no,
Ain't nobody, and he got that pressure for Tio all that pretty shit,
yeah, and he ain't gonna chase him around that ring.
he gonna
He
cut
ain't
the
gonna
ring
chase
off.
him around there. He's gonna
He
cut it
gonna
off.
cut it off.
And he's
Yeah.
gonna come forward like a little bulldog. And another guy, yeah, another guy is Hitchens. We don't talk about Hitchens and that 140. He's another guy I think could be dangerous for a guy like Teo. But for me, I think Teo should stick to 140. That's where he's going to get his most competitive fights. Uh, you know, I also think the inactivity of these guys is really starting to show up, man. When you got guys who are in there 3 times a year, you're seeing different fighters from guys who only
Hold
fought
on.
them
We skipping
4
topics.
times
We
a
skipping.
year.
We gonna make that a topic right there. We ain't
All
gonna talk
right.
about that right now.
Now,
We
let's
gonna
jump into what was probably the biggest snoozer of the entire weekend. Motherfucking
oh
Devin Haney and Jose Ramirez, both of them. Both of them. I mean,
man, listen.
just I fell asleep on that fight 3 fucking times. Woke up in the third, like,
No, I
I
fell
was
asleep on
woke
the
up in the
fight,
fifth.
bro,
Like, holy
and
shit.
woke up to Ryan getting knocked down by Rolly. I promise you. I
Yeah.
fell asleep on that fight. Like it's crazy. Like Ramirez, he need to retire. You only 32. You
Yes.
ain't. it's like your
Yeah,
feet was in the mud. Like, boy,
yeah,
like you all right? Like, wasn't
yeah,
swinging, wasn't doing
yeah.
nothing. Like, and then Devin, oh my God. He, hey, listen, these boys was talking about Tank and his performance, all that. Man,
Mhm.
hey, hey,
Yeah.
boy, listen, man. Devin, I don't know. And the whole time I'm thinking he talking about he was training with Sugar Ray. I ain't think he said he was uh training with Sugar Shane Mosley. I thought he was talking about Sugar Ray
Yeah,
Leonard. I was lost. I'm like, oh, he was practicing with Sugar Shane. Like, I mean, he cool, like, but what he
yeah,
gonna teach you? Y'all ain't even got the same style. Like,
exactly.
they be so bitter. I feel like to go get that real help from Floyd. Like man, go get that real, like, you feel me, that help
You
for
have
real,
to
bro.
teach them something, And for me though, if you really wanted to erase that Ryan Garcia fight from people's mind and redeem yourself in a way that people are going to be like, all right, maybe Ryan did cheat, maybe Devin is out. Maybe PTSD, from getting hit with
Yeah,
a left all day, every day, and maybe he's afraid to now get hit. But if he could have taken anything from that Ryan fight, it's that, hey, you somewhat do have a chin because he wasn't able to knock him out in that fight, right? So
nah,
he should have been thinking that, hey,
bullshit.
my chin might be a little wobbly, but I still got a chin a little bit to where I wasn't knocked out in that fight. And that he, like, to just be running around the ring the way he did and not put on a fight and entertain the crowd the way he could have and really erase that fight from everybody's mind. And he didn't. He did not do it. And
Bro,
maybe he looked too far ahead and said, I just want to make it through this fight and get this Ryan rematch. Maybe that's it. But that's no excuse to
man,
just
that fight was
the
fucking,
entire damn time, man. Like
man, listen,
everybody
that
thought that was just a horrible fight.
that fight was terrible, bro. That was terrible. He need to, like, I seen like flashes, but I'm like, brother, you running around the ring on, like, I ain't see the same when he fought what's his name at 140? Can't even think of his name right now, man. But he took his belt, dropped him. I ain't see that or nothing, bro. I ain't see no
Oh no, no,
aggression.
you talking about dude that's pretty
First,
much retired
no,
now. Damn, what was his name? He ain't retired, but he should retire. He's at that point in his career. I know
yeah,
exactly
I
what
can't think of
he
him
just
right
beat
now.
the brakes off dude. And
Yeah,
I haven't seen that guy. And I mean, look how he fought against a guy like Lomachenko. You know what I mean? He showed those signs. He showed that talent against a guy like that. That hey, if I got to get in a dogfight, I'm willing to get in a dogfight. But this here was absolute. Just what the hell is going on? And then afterwards, for him to be back there celebrating Ryan's L and like he did something special that night. No, no, you should have been back there thinking, "Damn, bro, my performance was ass, ass. I
that
can't,
shit.
I
Hey,
can't
listen,
celebrate nobody else's shit if I
I
didn't do what I needed to do."
I ain't gonna lie. Don't none of them want to fight right now. He wouldn't want to fight Keyshawn. He wouldn't want to fight Henderson. He don't want to fight
You know?
Shakur. And he don't want to fight Tank. He don't want to fight none of them right now. He need to go back, take his ass back down to 140 or
Yeah.
something.
And
Cause
maybe I can't. So all right, see, the 147 could have been an excuse if you were actively in there trying to fight, and we just
no,
were
he was
seeing. Oh,
144 though. He wasn't even 147. They was
yeah,
144
so
catch weight.
144 is only 4 pounds over than what he would have. He usually comes in after the fight, during the fight at like 160. So really
Yeah,
no excuse, just the way his performance was. Uh, and once again, like I said, taking a year out of the ring, he should have came back a long time before that. After that Garcia fight, you got to sometimes just get back in there, take a punch, and know, okay, man, I can take that punch. I'm all right. It's just shit happens. But just absolutely embarrassing for the Haneys, his father, and himself. That was just an embarrassing performance.
yeah,
You got out
that
so
that
much, and
that
you didn't back any of it up.
yeah, that wasn't no good. He need to stay off the internet. He need to go right back in the lab today, like right
Yeah,
after that. Like he need to. that was not it. Like,
Mm-mm.
that
No,
was
there was none
terrible.
about that. That was impressive for me.
That was
The most
terrible.
boring fight I've seen in the whole year. The whole year, that was probably one of the worst fights I've seen this entire
Nah,
year
for
so
sure.
far, 2025. He
That
just
was
put on
terrible.
just terrible, just terrible. Let's
That
move
was
on to the Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. I loved it because I said it before. I am not an advocate for anybody who cheats in the sport of boxing. And when you can't admit that you did something wrong and you just continuously go on about it, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing nothing. But you failed test after test and had an opportunity to prove that you were not a cheater and you still could not prove it. I don't have love for guys like that. And I really think that this dude gets way more like love than what he did. He's a one punch pony. He reminds me of a Dante Wilder, does he not? He's got one punch. Can't I mean think about it. Deontay
can't
Wilder
use his right hand.
he
Can't
couldn't throw
use
a
his
left.
right hand.
He couldn't throw a left to save his life, Deontay Wilder, right?
Yeah,
But
and Ryan can't throw his right.
Ryan can't throw a right to save his
And he
motherfucking life.
right-handed,
I mean, that doesn't make
or
any
is he
sense.
really left-handed?
And if you're Derek James, you got to ask yourself, do you just give up on Ryan Garcia? Because if you've been training him for over 2 years
Nah,
and
you
this
don't give
kid
up. You can't give
hasn't
up.
learned anything, like,
Yeah,
are
you
you
can't give
asking
up
yourself,
on him.
like, you got to be able to teach this dude how to use that right hand, how to have more of an arsenal. He just and waits and
Sometimes them habits be hard to break, bro.
but
Them
if he
habits
can't,
is hard to break.
that shows a bad fighter, in my opinion,
For some
because
fighters, it's hard to break.
he's been underneath great trainers. You know, Reynoso. He's been under, Denim Dan. I call him. I can't remember his name, but Denim Dan. I call him. Wears all the denim.
I I think,
Trainer. And Derek James. And not one of these guys have been able to get him out of the habit of just depending on his left so much. And it's to the point where you can see him throwing it, and a guy like Rolly is smart enough to say it. All right, I got you. You're gonna throw it, and I'm gonna fucking counter you, just like Tank did. Tank
that
showed
that
everybody how to counter that, and Rolly, I'm sorry, I hated on Rolly so many times. And I have. I've not been a fan
hey,
of
if
Rolly.
Rolly had some feet,
He impressed me, bro.
ooh, if Rolly had boxing feet,
Yeah, yeah.
hey, but on that topic though, but that knockdown probably changed the whole fight, bro. It probably
Yeah,
changed his whole mindset of
Rolly,
even throwing it
Rolly
right
said
now.
that. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They probably changed it. He probably had it in his arsenal, but sometimes when people get hit that reflex, like damn, and get dropped, it's like, all right,
Yeah.
now I gotta get him back. And he could never get him back because Rolly fought smart than a motherfucker, bro. He
Hey,
kept his hand right there. Dude, hey, yeah, dude, I wish I would have bet some money on him, man. God
mhm.
damn.
Yeah, because I didn't really think, after what I've seen of him, from him with Esoc Cruz and that,
Pitbull.
and
But
what I've seen
like he
against
said, he probably was drained though. He probably was drained for real. He probably was like, he probably was drained, man. He probably was drained. He probably was like coming down because 147, he looked good. He looked healthy. He was moving. He was faster. He was
hmm
like, I don't know, like
he
Pitbull. He
was
should have,
really patient. I love how patient he was. He was,
yeah,
he
patient,
was daring him to throw
patient.
that left, daring him like, come on, throw
He
that
was
left. I'm ready.
he
Throw that
he
left.
he
You know?
definitely was patient. He kept his hand right there the whole time. He wasn't
Mhm.
moving it. Like, yeah, he fought a good. Really, I'm proud of Rolly, man. Like he my little brother, son. He fought a good fight, and he beat him. Like he tried to
And he
say he
did.
was gonna. That put Rolly back in the game. Like okay,
Yeah.
like
And
all
look
right.
how humble he was after that. He wasn't no showboating. He went out there like, I told you all this. My
Nah,
dude
he
was
was
as
humble.
humble as they can motherfucking get after that fight.
Yeah,
I was
he was.
super impressed. That gave me more respect for him to see him after that fight the way he was. And, well, so you get the handy fight. No, let these fools fight each other. I don't want that
Yeah,
fight. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I'm not here for money. I'm here for titles. I love that.
yeah,
That was one of my favorite things
yeah.
here in a box to say because I mean you can't hate people there for the money, but some guys are different. He said, I want
Yeah. Now
titles.
some people want
Money's
titles.
gonna
Yeah,
come with those titles. If you get the
yeah.
title, the money's going to come with it. And I
Mhm.
think he earned himself a lot of respect. And I think Turkey will give him another big fight. and he's going to get another big fight.
Nah, he deserve it. He
Absolutely.
deserve
Now I don't agree with the WBC title that they put up. That what is this bullshit? We just making belts now, and
it. All
we
right, because
do a super title guy, and now we have two WBC titles. Like that don't make no motherfucking sense at all.
yeah, I
That
ain't paying attention to that.
I
Mm.
mean, I didn't really care for too much. I wasn't really a fan of that.
Yeah,
But overall, man, I thought a night that was hyped up really didn't live up to it. The Haney fight kind of killed it a lot. But overall, man, I thought Teo showed a lot. A lot. I think he should stay at 140, not one. He shouldn't think about going to 147, in my opinion. Uh, Got to be more active. I think that's all three of these guys. I think Teo,
nah,
Haney,
oh
and
no, he better.
Garcia, they got to get more active, man. They got to
Now
get
that we
more.
now that we talked about them, not to cut you off, because I know we're gonna probably go somewhere else after this, go to another subject, whatever. Man, they
Yeah,
better stay away from Boots and don't call. He better
man.
stay away from Boots. He better not ever in his life call Terrence Crawford name out again. Like,
No.
bruh,
And I
like
would like to see him go up against Boots just so that
who?
we can. I tell you, I want him to take that opportunity. Take that opportunity to
Man,
go at their Boots. In my opinion, you're going to lose that fight, but that's going to elevate Boots to a level that he needs to be elevated to. He needs
no, it
a guy
ain't.
like Teo. He needs a guy like Ryan Garcia so he can really get all those part-time fans out there of Teo and Ryan that he doesn't have because Boots got the diehard fans. We know about Boots. We know who Boots is. These part-time casual fans of Ryan and them, they don't know about Boots, but he can get that attention. He can get those. He can grab some attention with guys like Ryan and Teo. A big fight like that, more than what he's going to get against, you know,
Nah.
Brian Norman, right? Brian Norman Jr. We know Brian Norman Jr. The casuals don't know about Brian Norman Jr. You
But
know what I'm saying?
I don't really think that's true. Just kind of point they got Mexican fans and they Mexican fans gonna ride with them, good or bad, lose, win, draw, or whatever. So like a Mexican boxer's really, I mean, fans ain't really going. Some are, but they ain't really right. As long as Canelo and they got somebody to cheer for, they ain't gonna
Mhm.
care about the American fighter as much as like that. You could beat they guy to death. They still gonna be like, it's okay, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They gonna be down hard, just like Ryan cheated, but they in they eyes he ain't do nothing wrong. You feel
Man,
me?
and you saw it in this fight. I mean, he had flabby little titties. He wasn't in that much of shape. Like he wasn't nearly motherfucking as fast. He didn't have that same type of energy. I'm sorry. Every bit of that showed me that he was on a PED. I don't give a shit what people say and how and why they try to continue to defend this guy on that is beyond me. And that's what really made me dislike him more and more and more. I always thought he was overhyped, even from the straight beginning. King Ryan and when what was his name? Luke knocked him
Luke
down.
Campbell.
Luke
Luke
Campbell
Campbell.
knocked him down, and I said, "All right, this dude has that. He depends on that left way too much." And a guy like Luke Campbell, an older fighter, should have never been able to do that to him, in my opinion. But that's when I really started to see who Ryan really was, and that if he couldn't get some kind of other arsenal to his shit, he's got the speed to add arsenal. But
Yeah.
in this fight, I didn't
Combinations, he ain't throw no combinations, nothing. But
no.
I think what's the name it took it away from me when he dropped him, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Well, Rolly even
And
said
that was in the second round.
it.
That was
I
the
knew
second round.
Yeah, Rolly said, I knew I didn't hurt him, but I knew he was now going to be hesitant to throw that left after I knocked him down. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go back to boxing this dude. I'm not going in to knock him out because when he knocked him
Yeah,
down,
Rolly was talking with common sense, man. Like how he was talking, and he
oh,
ain't around that bullet dude no more though. Like, you
he
know what
ain't
I'm
talking all
saying?
that bullshit. He's
Yeah,
actually
like,
like you respected him and said, man, this dude got some intelligence for real. He's got
yeah,
some intelligence. Like
yeah,
what I thought he really was. You know,
yeah.
and he
Really?
showed that like that ring IQ. I'm sorry, I'm impressed with it. And Rolly, I apologize for all the shit I ever talked about you. I said you was retarded at one point. I apologize for that.
Nah, it's
I
still he ain't. We ain't gonna use the R word. We gonna take that away, but he is
we're
still a
gonna take
slow.
that word back, and I
He's funny though. I think he
apologize.
just funny. I think he do that type of shit on purpose, man.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
but he definitely he definitely impressed me all around fighting, just talking, how he was humble, all that. He impressed me. He wasn't saying no BS. Like he was on a whole nother different mission. Like
Mhm.
now, if he could go there in there with Floyd and get some feet, he'd be all right.
Hey,
Cause
Floyd,
the awkwardness helped him a lot. For real, for real.
you heard
That
what
shit.
Floyd said. He told Ryan to take that fight. He said, if you beat Rolly, I'll pay you. Like he was going to pay Ryan so much money or something. If you can beat Rolly, I'll pay you. But he pretty much saying you can't beat Rolly, and I know
Oh
you can't.
yeah,
Yeah, Floyd was saying that. Check out the clip where he talked about that. He said, I told Ryan to take that fight against Rolly, and if he could actually beat him, that I would give him like I think it was like $5,000 or some shit. I pay him 5,000, but he can't beat Rolly. He can't
yeah,
beat him. And he was right, man. He wasn't able. And Rolly even said that. Kind of like that Haney Garcia fight. They knew each other. They've been in the ring
yeah,
with each other. You know what I
yeah,
mean? The same with him. He said, I know Ryan. I know Ryan, and Ryan knows that if he fucks up, that I'm gonna make him pay. And
yeah.
he did. He absolutely did, man. Uh, Big fan of that fight. Let's jump over to what we
The
saw
best fight of
yesterday
the
night.
night. That was the best fight. Oh, hold
Absolutely.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
All
Before
right,
we
before
jump
we
to
jump
that,
into
before
this,
we,
let's take this down. What you got for me? What you got for me?
would you love to see T.O. fight Rolly
Uh, yeah, yeah. I'd like to see
at
Tio.
147 though? I don't want Rolly to go down. I can't see Rolly going down.
Like, not. I don't want to see Rolly go down. I honestly want. Now that you said it, I can't get it out of my mind. I want Teo versus Russell. I can't get that out of my mind. Ever since you said that, that's who I want Teo to go for. And that's the fight I want. And I want that
Yeah,
for Russell, just so he could show people, like you said, nobody's calling him out. But now that you mentioned that, that's just in my mind.
he
And
might
bet
be the book. He
that is
might
a
be the real boogeyman.
yeah,
I
that's the
think he
fight
might be
I
the
would
real
really want to
boogeyman.
see. Yeah, that one right there. Or see him go up against Hitchens also, who I think would be a good competition for him. I think that
Yeah,
140 still
I
has a
think
lot
he'll
of.
destroy Hitchison too, though. I
You
think
think he
he'll
will? I
pull
mean,
Gary Antoine.
no, Teo and Hitchens.
Oh, nah, that'd be like a boxing. It'd be close. It'd be close, but I think Teo will probably be able to bully Hitchison. I don't know. Hitchison go back a little bit too much. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like, I like you to stand your ground a little bit. Like, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
But I
And as
don't
much
know.
as I love to see Rolly get
I
it,
gotta see his next fight. I gotta
but
see Hitchison.
I think there's a lot of possibilities at 147 for Rolly, man. I mean, he can go up against a guy like Brian. What do you think about a Brian Norman versus Rolly? You think that's a bad choice for Rolly?
Oh, for Rolly?
Yeah. You think he should
Mm,
get that type of opportunity? Now, I ain't saying jump up to a guy like Boots right now. I mean,
man,
even
he
though
better not fight
Rolly's
him.
not new to the game, he's a veteran style fighter.
Him and Brian Norman kind of awkward. They both ain't got no feet. So yeah, that'd be a good fight. But
Yeah.
Brian
So
Norman ain't got no feet. He hit hard, but he ain't got no feet. Rolly
yeah,
hit hard. He ain't got no feet. And he
even
awkward. So
even Tank said Rolly got a nice punch to him. Even
yeah,
Tank
hell yeah.
he
They been
said Tank
said he
was
hit
one
hard.
of the hardest punchers, or Rolly was one of the hardest punchers he dealt with. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'd love to see Rolly get an opportunity, man, at 147. Maybe even a big name like another big name like
I think
Teo.
he'll be I think Rolly will be what's his number? With the other belt? What's his name?
Oh, the guy we ain't seen in forever, Barrero. Damn it, who I ain't seen fighting
We
so
can't even
long.
think. We can't even think right now. We so out of it
And
because
I know who you're talking about. He's got the other belt at 147. Uh,
man, we gotta say these names, bro. We can't be
Barrios.
Barrios. There you
Yeah,
go. Mario
Barrios.
Barrios.
It's him.
Yeah.
It's Barrios who's
I
got
think
that.
I think Rolly can beat him.
I think he could too. But Barrios is one of them guys. I mean, I wasn't impressed with his last fight, which is well over a year ago. I mean, why these guys are staying so stagnant is just beyond me. But at his last fight, I wasn't super impressed with him. But the fights I've seen before that, super impressed with Barrios. Even from the 135 to the 140 to the 147 division, he's always seemed to be a pretty impressive fighter. I think it'd be a hell of a fight against a guy like Rolly. That would be a great little matchup, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Going into last night, uh, got to see Jaime Munguia get his get back against Bruno Saras in a fight that he got knocked out previously, in a fight that he was dominating in the first fight. And he pretty much did the same thing in this fight. It was a good fight, but he got the majority decision at the end of the day. Did not get the knockout like you would like he maybe had wanted to. Was a pretty decent fight, but the fight that I was most impressed with was
They had a rematch.
yeah, that was the second fight. Remember, I want to say it was just earlier this year.
Yeah,
Matter of
he
fact,
got knocked out.
yeah, Munguia got knocked out by Shiraz, and he got his get back on Saturday
Oh,
night.
okay.
I mean, but he
Okay
was
then.
winning that fight before. In the first fight,
Yeah,
he was completely dominating Bruno the
yeah,
entire first fight, and then he just kind of dropped that hand. And you know, in boxing, it just takes one punch, and that's pretty much what happened in that fight. And in this
yeah.
fight, it was the same result. He didn't get knocked out, and he kept that hand. You saw the whole fight. He didn't move that hand. He knew he had to keep that hand up from that right that Bruno had. So he was smart enough to do that and dominate the fight like he did the first time. Uh, some people want a trilogy. I don't want a trilogy on that fight. It's time for McGinn to move on. Love to see him against a guy like Caleb Plant or a guy like Charlo. You know, even a Berlanga. I really want to see him against Berlanga. To be honest with you, I think that'd be a good little matchup coming up in the future. The fight that I really liked a lot yesterday was the Martin Bacoli versus Effie Ajagwe fight, and a fight that looked like Bacoli was kind of getting whooped up in the first few rounds, like all the way to I want to say the seventh and eighth round. Before that, you know, it looked like he was kind of getting touched up a lot. He got stumbled a couple times, but then it hit the seventh and eighth inning or eighth round, and my boy started coming alive, started landing
Oh
some big
yeah.
shots in that fight. I'm trying to remember what the results was, man, because once again, man, it was later that night. I ended up falling out. Uh, Woke up around that seventh to kind of catch back up with it a little bit. Uh, and I think it actually was a split decision, if I'm correct. It was a split decision.
Did
Like
Bacoli win?
no. What who the hell? The one at Jaffa, I think it was a draw. It was a draw, if I'm correct. I have to go back and look at it, man. I can't believe I'm forgetting about it. But like I said, you know, I kind of dazed off and went off another way right at the end of it. Badu Jack did beat Ryan Rozowski. Wasn't really interested in that fight. These two guys were champs in recess in that cruiserweight division. Badu Jack, he's an older guy. He won that fight, but wasn't super impressed with that fight overall. Let's jump to the main event. Did you watch that main event, Canelo versus Skull? Uh,
I ain't get to watch that. Nope.
I'm gonna
I ain't get to
say this.
watch none of them fights.
I'm gonna say this. The IBF is some bullshit. These motherfuckers have some bullshit ass champs, some bullshit ass mandatories, and people that you never heard of. And then you watch this fight and you know why you never heard of fucking William Skull. He he was there for a payday. You
Yeah.
saw, you even saw like, I mean, he threw more punches than Canelo did, but half those punches was to the fucking win. You know what I mean? He threw 259 punches, landed like 56 of them. And this is no lie. Fewest punches in a championship fight ever for two fighters. And this guy was just punching at it like samba dancing, and it was aggro. It was one of those fights where you clearly saw a guy who was there just for a payday and not a fight. The biggest stage, biggest opportunity to let people know who William Skull is, and he just dropped the ball. And Canelo, of course, gets a unanimous decision. I agree with the 119-109 card because it was just that fucking horrible on performance on William Skull and just embarrassing for him. I mean, to the point that they didn't even interview this guy at the end of the fight. Like, they didn't even interview him. They made a decision and then told his ass to get the fuck out of the ring. Like, all
Yeah.
right, Canelo wins, get the fuck out of here. And dude got out of the ring. Like, they didn't even
Yeah.
want to interview this dude and give him an opportunity. Why did you fight like that? Why didn't you come to fight? In his mind, did he think he was winning the fight? I don't fucking know. But that type of style isn't a style that I like. Uh, and you saw hints of that he can throw punches. He had a good arsenal. Uh, but I don't know if it was more he was just afraid to get hit by the big shot, didn't want to get knocked out or take a chance of getting knocked out by Canelo, and maybe thought, well, that'd be worse on my career if I get knocked out. No, it'd be worse on your career if you don't show up to fight at all,
Right.
because that's what we're going to remember. I never saw you before this, how you became an IBF mandatory, and how the hell you ended up with an IBF belt when you have fought absolutely nobody. that anybody can remember or announce, oh yeah, I know that guy. No, nobody can. You know what I mean? He was the belt was stripped from Canelo because he didn't want to fight this guy. And once again, man, like I said, the IBF pulls these mandatories out of their fucking ass. And they do stupid shit like you watch a heavyweight Usyk win the undisputed heavyweight fight, and immediately the IBF knows he's got a rematch against Fury and strips him of his belt. The same thing they did to Crawford after becoming undisputed at
Mhm.
140 and decided, or 147 undisputed, and then a month later, 2 months later, they're like, oh well, if you don't defend this against bumfuck nobody knows, when we know you have a rematch clause against Spence, and then strip him of his belt. It's so fucking stupid. And if I was boxing, just get rid of the IBF belt. These rankings are horrible. Their mandatories are fucking horrible. And then the guys they eventually give the belt to are a fucking joke in the sport of boxing. And it's a
Mhm.
waste of time for a guy like Canelo who could have possibly fought somebody who was at a better competition, you know what I mean, or stayed undisputed and given us a little different of a fight, maybe even a Charlo or somebody like that. You know, that would have been a bigger name for him to fight somebody that we would have rather seen him fight. You know what I mean? Like it was just to me, it was just a horrible guy to put in there. And I
Yeah,
think,
boxing been on they horrible shit lately, man.
yeah, it has
I'm
not
waiting
been.
on Keyshawn and Shakur, man. 'Cause goddamn, I don't
Yeah,
seem like nobody else want to fight. They was talking about Tank. At least Tank, they put on a fight. Goddamn, at least they
yeah,
fight was a fight. They was
yeah,
there. Oh, Tank, look, man, look at the rest of these motherfuckers though. What are they doing? Like
exactly.
they ain't even engaging. Like they running and it's different from defense and running. But like, bruh, he was running around the whole ring, bro. That shit was terrible, bro.
It was just
That shit
horrible,
was
bro.
terrible.
It was like you remember
Brian
when you,
wasn't throwing no punches. Like, bro, what the fuck is
yeah,
y'all doing? I could have beat them boys. I could have beat them Friday night.
yeah. I
Real
mean,
talk.
but
They could have
you look
paid
at
me.
Saul. You remember that kid in the playground, that little dude that you were trying to catch, and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
be you just like fucking. I ain't trying to chase you, bro. I ain't doing this
yeah,
with you. That was
yeah.
Skull. He looked like that little kid on the playground that was just, huh, and it was just like, bro, where you getting with this? You're not accomplishing anything. This is boxing fight. I mean, to the point that the ref said, "Hey, cut that shit out." And I've never seen a ref tell a dude to stop motherfucking running. But the ref said, "Hey, bro, cut it the fuck out and start fighting." I've never seen a ref do that. I've never seen a ref be like, "Bro, this shit is fucking embarrassing. You need to fucking fight." And he wasn't directly at Canelo. He clearly told Skull, "Stop with the bullshit and fight." And he did for about 10 seconds, got hit with a few body shots, and then he was right back to it. You know what I mean? It was just a bad, even Canelo at the end was like, "I don't like fighting guys like that. This is why I don't fight Cubans. You don't come to fight, you come to dance and run around the ring and get you a payday."
That
He
was
said,
uh
and acknowledge,
Timothy Bradley said he ain't seen a good Cuban. Like, where they at? Like, I ain't seen none. There ain't been none
the
doing
only one I
nothing.
can think of is David Morrell. Is the only good Cuban fighter I can think of at the moment that I would say, all right, he doesn't run around and he goes engaged. I mean, he gave Benavidez a pretty good fight for a younger guy like he is, stepping up to that level. And he doesn't run around the ring. But no, we haven't seen a good Cuban in a while, man. We really haven't. A guy who's there to fight and doesn't just
He's
dance around.
he was saying active too. The only he said who Laura? That's probably the only one.
Yeah, yeah. Lara gave him a pretty good fight. Actually, that was a pretty decent fight for him, Canelo. But yeah, that was pretty embarrassing for me, man. I wasn't really a fan of it, but it brought us to what I did like seeing on there, man. That Canelo versus Crawford, and I know we really want to get to this conversation here because Crawford looked up to par, man. The size, the height, he looks like he's ready for this fight, and I think the amount of time he's getting is only going to make him more prepared. And this is a fight that I can't wait. Even Canelo said, "I'm looking forward to my." Before they even brought him in the ring, he talked like Skull was. I don't like fighting guys like that. I look forward to my fight in September against a guy who is going to engage with me.
Well,
And
he got a different energy now. At first he was saying he too little and
well,
man,
he said his grandma told him to fight him. He said his grandma wanted him to fight Crawford. That's why I eventually gave him the fight. His grandma said,
For
"Fight."
real?
Yeah, I was surprised by that. But he was talking about pretty much it was his grandmother who convinced him to, hey, take this fight against a guy like Crawford, man. That's going to be a great fight for you. You know, you want to finally, and for me, for both of these guys, is this the last? Like, I don't think
I
this is
was
the
gonna
last.
ask that. I
Well,
don't know. Is this the ride after to the
you go
sunset for
after
both
this.
of them?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think this could be a last fight for both of them because for Canelo, unless you're going to go fight a David Benavidez, there's really nobody else for you to prove yourself against
Right.
after you go up against a Crawford. If you win that fight or if you lose that fight, regardless, you really don't have anything else to prove unless he has something, and he probably does that we're not aware of, have a mandatory rematch clause if he loses. I would think he would because it's Canelo, and when you got all the belts, you have that power to put that into your contract to say, look, if you beat me, I want that automatic rematch. Like because Crawford, we know Canelo don't take losses well. So if he does lose to a guy like Crawford, he probably is going to demand a rematch against Crawford. But you think at the end of this, when it's all said and done, is Crawford going to walk away? A friend of mine said, "Why is he not fighting Boots?" I said, "Boots ain't that dude yet. He doesn't have. He's not that big payday fight for Crawford. As much as we know it might be a pretty good fight, he's not the name that Crawford's looking for. He's not that payday that Crawford is looking for at the end of the day."
Right. Boot. They saying Boots, but Boots ain't beat nobody, bro. Like, dude, he beat ain't. No, you gotta get the 154, bro. Like, them guys at 47 ain't. That shit is practice. Gotta get to 54. 54 is where he gonna be tested at right now.
Yeah,
That's gonna be the yeah, we gonna really know what you on for real.
yeah. I
Like
think.
147 ain't 147 from years ago, bro. That and
Mm-mm.
I never really thought 147 was like that for real. I ain't, it was cool, but like they had Sean Porter. Sean Porter gonna give you good fight. Ugas, Ugas. I was like, he
Yeah, yeah. I
trash.
was.
Like Thurman, he was okay. He was okay. I ain't really never really liked Thurman. Uh Garcia, Danny, I like that. It wasn't never like Earl Spence. Yeah, they had to move Mikey Garcia up. And it was cool, but it wasn't all that for real. The names was cool because you had fighters, some people that was gonna fight. You weren't about to come in there and be see no running, but it it's better than what it is now. But it
Yeah,
really
yeah,
like them dudes, like I don't know, man. Like Thurman got beat by Pacquiao after like
yeah, yeah. And
uh,
well, and then we had you guys beat Pacquiao towards pretty much the end of his career. That's what
yeah,
elevated
that
him,
was
really kind
like
of
you
put
should
him.
have beat him. Like you
Yeah,
should have beat him.
but then Spence went and whooped Ugas like he stole something from him in that
Yeah,
fight.
I think Ugas really beat Sean Porter for real, for real, for real. But they gave it
Yeah.
to Sean Porter. But I think Ugas beat Sean Porter to be true. That's
Okay.
just my opinion. You go back and watch that fight, you will see Sean Porter was trying to box. He wasn't coming in. Like he fought a whole different style. But you ever go back, watch that fight, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Another face off yesterday that I liked. Well, actually, it was Friday night. Was Shakur versus Peta. They had them facing off there. What's your thoughts on that fight coming up with
I've
those
been
two
told
guys?
Shakur gonna pick him apart, man.
I think he's going to expose the Peta. I said that on our page, Bourbon and Boxing, that I really think that Shakur is going to expose the Peta. In his last two fights, I've seen him get exposed by lesser fighters. So
Yeah.
a guy like Shakur, like they're talking about, oh, well, Zapata throws 1,000 punches a fight. Well, if you can't hit the target, it don't matter how many you fucking throw.
Hell yeah. And then don't let the
Punch on it.
target
You know?
target be jabbing the shit out of you. That ain't gonna make that ain't gonna make it. That's gonna make it a hard fight. You throwing 1,000 punches a fight and you ain't hitting the target, but the target landing on you. That shit ain't gonna matter then.
Yep, yep,
But I can see
absolutely.
what they saying though. But his style is just like I can see Shakur just picking him apart. But we gonna see though. We gonna see.
Yep.
Shit,
Now
we'll
I
see.
have been hearing that the Tank and Roach are going to do a rematch. I don't know how true it is. There haven't been a date set for it. I am hearing that that is going to happen in a rematch, and that Roach might be moving to 135. Should he stay 130, or should he move to 135 after the type of performance he put on against a guy like Tank? Uh,
We gonna see this time. This
what
time
about
I'm
a
telling.
what
We
about a
gonna
Roach
know
Keyshawn?
who.
Roach versus Keyshawn? What do you think about that type of fight at 135? Do you think that's the type of challenge that
I'm starting to think Keyshawn dangerous, man. We
I'm
gonna see
thinking?
though. We
He's
gonna
got
see though.
coming
Cause
up
this
first.
competition really ain't being nothing either though. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like the
it
competition ain't. It's like these fighters they fight. Either they making them look like that or they just ain't that. And I don't think they that for real. Like these
yeah,
fighters, I ain't seeing no versatile in them. Some of them just I don't know, man. Like I ain't like we need like Shakur and Keyshawn. Even though I'm just saying, I know they ain't
yeah,
gonna fight,
yeah. We
but
need a
we
tank
gotta
versus
see
Core. We
or
need Loma
Tank.
to step back in
Yeah, like
135. We need a tank versus Loma. I think
see,
those type
like
of fights. Like, yeah, yeah,
like Roach came in there and really test Tank. Like he
yeah,
ain't these dudes ain't getting tested to me. Like I'm not seeing no of adversity out of they fights. Like I ain't seeing nobody like, oh damn, he won them 3 rounds on.
Now,
I
I have
don't
been
see.
saying it for the last 2 years. I don't know why Raymond Murtala and Keyshawn have not fought yet. Raymond Murtala is with ESPN Top Rank, and Keyshawn is. Why that fight? These are two up and coming dudes. Raymond Murtala, he's a pretty good fighter, and my especially younger guy. He doesn't get a lot of respect in that 135. But if you really want to test Keyshawn to see, okay, can he? What's he going to do against a guy like Shakur? Testing with a guy like Raymond Murtala first and see how he handles a guy like now. If he manhandles and just absolutely dominates a guy like Murtala, then you can say I think he's on the elite level and he's ready for those big time fights like Tank and Loma and those guys. Even like I think you mentioned a George Kambosa. Even trying to fight a guy
Oh
like
yeah, but
Kambosa.
you know he went up 140 though.
I saw him go
That's
to 140, but
that's what we're interested about the fight.
is that who he's got coming up next?
Yeah, that's what he about to fight. He about to fight both. I mean, Cabosa.
All right, that should be a good little fight. I like that one. I
Yeah.
like that one a lot. Any other fights you got on the menu for us, my guy? Any other conversations you looking for? We do have another big fight coming up today. Noah Inoue, of course, going up against Ramon uh, Cardoza, and then Rafael Espinoza is going to be facing Edward Vasquez on that same card. And we're going to get Polanco versus Mandina. Going to be a pretty good card overall tonight. I'm kind of excited that I get some, Sunday night fights. This is nice Friday, Saturday, Sunday fights, but I also got a lot on my plate today. I got my Bible study that I got going on around 6:15 tonight that I got to show up to, and then and then try to make these fights that night and not be, I
Yeah.
got up at 8 this morning for church and all that other shit. So it's a packed day, and then I get to throw boxing in there. I got to cook dinner for my kids. My wife's at work. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I got to get these fuckers in bed at the right time. School tomorrow, all that type of shit. But it's nice to have a nice little Sunday card. What do you think about Noah Inoue tonight? What kind of performance do you think he's going to put on? I don't know much about Cardenas. I think I've watched him fight one
I
time
don't know
before.
nobody on that card, but
Well, Rafael Espinoza. Remember, he fought Jesus Ramos. Is that who he just fought? That he beat and then turned around and beat him again. He's that tall, lanky dude. At
okay.
I think
Yeah,
he's
you
one of
always say that, and I always, but
the
I
see.
don't
Yeah,
know. I just gotta see them more. I don't know. I don't ever really catch them like that. Like they gotta be start putting these dudes on cars that we watching, bro. Not cars that I don't know, bro. This shit, bro. I'm starting to not. I'm I'm starting to. I don't know. I got so much to say. Like boxing, like this year right now, been disappointment, man. These
it
dudes got to
hasn't
really,
been as exciting
they
as it.
really got to start fighting each other, bro. Like this shit getting gay, man. Like everybody friends and shit. This shit starting to be gay. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, like this. Everybody
Well,
moving out of weight classes. Like, bro, you ain't even did shit at 140 yet. Why you want? Why the fuck you running at 147 then? Why you
Yeah,
ain't fighting him? Like, why you he got a belt? Why you ain't who the fuck is you
leaving.
fight? Like, what's going
They're, they're
on?
leaving. They're leaving too many scraps on the table. Not finishing their dinner, leaving that dinner not eating when there's plenty of stuff at 140 like for Haney and them. There's plenty of talent at 140 for these guys. Uh, what I mean, for them to think, well, I maybe it's my weight. Well, you know, we saw 147 for Haney, and I just it's hard for me to gauge what he could do at 147, 144, whatever he was, when he just didn't even show up to fight. And that to me, that's hard to gauge what he can do at that level, and then pretty much what he really can do at 140. These guys at 140, like even a Dalton Smith, who I watched a couple of weeks ago, looked really, really good. You know what I mean? And he's ready to step up his competition level. And it's like, who's going to, I think he might get the winner of Palelo versus Mateus, who we're going to get coming up here soon. That fight, I think, I want to say is in June. So he'll get the winner of that fight, and we'll really get to see where Dalton Smith is at. Uh, as far as what level he's on, if he's ready to really compete for titles and stuff like that. But there's plenty down at the 140 for these guys to make good fights and stay active too. Active, got to stay active, man. I'm tired of this inactivity, this once a year fighting, man. I love Terrence Crawford, but he's one of the very few guys that can stay out of the ring for a year and not have ring rust because he stays in the gym. Ryan Garcia had a year suspension where he could have honed his talents. He could have stayed in that and been a gym rat, and he didn't.
Yeah.
It's like you said. You said when it happened, when he first got suspended, that would be his worst enemy because, like you said, he was going to be out partying. He was going to be out on social media. He was going to be out trying to do everything but stay in that gym like he probably should have.
Yeah, that and Timothy Bradley let them boys have it. You see him talk?
I saw some. I didn't see the full clip. I did see
Man, he let them boys
like a comment of what he had.
he let them boys have bruh. He let them have it bad, bruh. That whole part, what he was saying was like, yeah, like dude coming. But you see on what you get, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then like I wasn't even a fan of that shit fighting. Like, I wasn't a fan of that, bro. I wasn't a
Nah,
fan
yeah,
of
and
that
maybe
fighting in the
that's
middle of
different too. Like
Madison
being
Square.
outside like that's a different. Like it's not a controlled atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to
That
deal with
was
heat
trash.
and your breathing and everything. I would say it's got to be a little different than being in a controlled environment that might have an AC or might have something in there to where you're not dealing with heat and stuff like that. But that's still to me no excuse for the type of
Nah, that
performance
ain't
that.
no excuse. I just ain't like the environment. Like, I ain't getting no boxing. Like, did Terrence Crawford fight outside when he fought? He fought outside, didn't he?
In LA, he did.
Yeah, but that was way back. That was at a stadium though. That was
Yeah, yeah,
inside the stadium. That shit right there was not it. Like in the middle of Times Square, like that
yeah.
wasn't
And
that.
I applaud him for
That
thinking
was
outside
like a
the box.
fucking model talent show or some shit.
Yeah. I
Coming out
applaud
in
you.
cars and shit. Like,
But if you've got a place like Madison Square Garden and you're not going to fucking utilize it, it doesn't. There's no reason to be in New York. If you're not fighting at Madison Square Garden, where you could, you're only going to get about 15,000 people, but it's going to be fucking packed. It's going to be
yeah,
packed in there, and it's going to be the atmosphere that you want for those type of fights. And maybe an atmosphere makes different fights. Maybe an atmosphere gets these guys more motivated to engage into their fight or make it more of an engaging and entertaining fight than what we saw this weekend. But and on a weekend where we thought was going to be one of the best weekends for boxing, we're still yet to see what we're going to get tonight. So I don't want to put all our cards on the table and speak for what we're going to see tonight. But I expect tonight we're going to see some good fights. We finally get Inoue here in America. He's going to be in Las Vegas, so we get him in America finally in a fight. Now Cardenas may not be the guy to challenge him, but that card overall looks
where
pretty
they
good.
fighting at?
Las Vegas. They're in Las Vegas, man. I got it
Oh,
all right.
anyway, fighting over here.
Yep. He'll be over here in Las Vegas. What is that? It's going to be on ESPN. Starts around 7 o'clock tonight. The main event's supposed to be 10 p.m. Because I was thinking, because I was thinking it was in Japan originally, and I was like, hold on, my daughter is driving me crazy. You cannot go outside while it's raining right now. Chill out. Sit down. You can't play out in the rain. Go sit down real quick, and when I'm done, chill. Like she's getting on my nerves. Sit down. But look, for me, like we're gonna see like him in America for the first time. I thought, hey, I'm gonna have to get up at 3 a.m. and watch this guy in Japan again. But I'm glad to see him in the U.S. Not maybe not the fight we want to see, but at the same time, in his division, there's really nobody to challenge him. And as much as I'd love to see him and a guy like Bam fight, I just don't know if Bam's ready to
They
take
was
that.
just talking about that too.
Now, I
Shakur
think
now.
talent wise, Bam's there. Weight wise, might just be too much of a difference for him to make up or try
Yeah,
to.
cause yeah. That's what I was thinking. Cause Bam Little, I think anyway, done moved up a couple weight
Yeah,
classes.
I think he's at 122 now, and Bam fights between that 112, 115, 118. Like he jumps
Oh
kind of back
yeah,
on
damn.
those divisions, those weight divisions. Not saying that he couldn't go up to 122, but you know that's
Slow walk it.
yeah. Slow walk it up there and eventually get
Yeah,
up
cause
there.
these boys is jumping from 135 to 147. Like you, bruh, you ain't even fight at 140. Like, who you running from? They running from somebody, bruh. I'm telling. Listen, when I tell you these boys is running, they is running from somebody that they don't want to fight at 140. You got a belt at 140. You jumping at 147. Who you gonna fight at 147?
But here's the thing too.
Barrios would have beat you last night. David,
Yeah,
how he
yeah,
fought last night. Then
yeah.
not only that, was that last night? No, that was Friday.
Friday,
Then,
Friday. Yep.
then like, not only that, like, bruh, Rolly would have beat you. Rolly
Hmm.
would have beat you too, because
Yep.
he would have stalked you. He would have came and got you. You all that. Dude wasn't throwing no punches. He ain't throw a jab or hook, nothing. He was
Yeah,
just following you
Ramirez really
around.
disappointed me. I think I was more disappointed in Ramirez than I was Haney, and just seeing Haney
Romero,
run around, this Ramirez just
I
like
forgot Romero used to even be good. Like how
yeah,
he was just like, what
yeah,
the fuck? What?
yeah,
What?
and it's like you said, he's young 30s, but at this point, if you just ain't there
It's
to
over.
give it up,
It's
just
over. It's
hang
over,
it up,
man. It's
and call
over.
it a night. Uh,
It's over.
for me though, I mean, like disappointing overall. And I got another question for you that's really been on my mind. This question here: we thought Turkey Al Sheikh was going to be a good thing for boxing. We really thought that. I especially
You
myself,
thought that.
I don't want to put words in your mouth. I thought Turkey Al Sheikh was going to be a really good thing for boxing. It seems he's not as good as what I thought he was going to be for boxing. He wants to put on these big fights, but he's picking and choosing. He's not giving these younger, like he's not reaching out to guys like Boots and guys that are up and coming, like the 154, full of great fighters and stuff like that. He seems to want to pick and choose the fighters that he wants to pay, and he's kind of come off no different than any other promoter in boxing at this point. Do you think he has become stagnated for boxing, or that he's kind of seen the true colors of boxing at this point, and he may be aggravated with how the sport is actually ran? What's your opinion on Turkey?
Like Tank said, man. He got his guys, man. He got his guys. It seems like he ain't putting them up against no competition. What I feel like, because if that's the case, make them fight each other. Like, ain't no way we shouldn't have got a TO. I mean, well, they been out the ring, so we gotta see what's gonna come within. Because all them boys been out the ring, so I can't just say that off of that card right now. We gotta see what he do next, because he doing a special one with Terrence Crawford and Canelo. Let's see who on them undercards before we really talk. Because just the for real, the probably the what we thought was gonna be a good card, and we can't blame him for how them motherfuckers fought. We can't blame him for the what they performances. We can't do that because we all thought, okay, oh, this card gonna be nice. Only motherfucker that just proved something was Rolly to me. Like
Now, are
TFL,
these days taking away the hunger from
huh?
these guys? Are the paydays taking away that hunger? Are these guys knowing that, hey, I don't
No, you got.
have that payday anymore? If I can really just kiss Turkey's ass, he's gonna give me a big payday. I
I
mean,
can't
William
say that.
Paul had
I
$3
can't
million
say.
from running around a fucking ring yesterday.
I can't say that because he don't know how they gonna come out and perform. Like, uh, as far as that, like, I don't know how they thinking. The way they fall, I don't think it was even a payday thing that had to do with that shit. Like, you gonna get paid regardless. So I don't
Yeah,
think it was a payday. Like, cause at the end of the day, like, you exposing yourself for the next person. Cause if I watch you, I'll be like, man, if he come out and fight me like that, I will beat the fuck. You feel me? And I know everybody else was thinking like that. So, like, if, I don't know, man.
should these
Hey man,
promoters start putting
like everybody was laughing at AB when he got, bro. That shit be for real, bro. Like that shit alter your fighting. Like, damn, bro. Last time I threw this motherfucker, bro. Like, you
yeah,
know what I'm saying? That can, and then ain't no telling what. Like, I don't know, man. Ain't no, ain't no telling what or how they thinking. Like. Cause that fight Devin
yeah,
fought, I ain't never seen Devin fight like that. And he ain't got, we know Devin ain't packing no punch like that. But
no,
goddamn, we ain't never seen
always,
him not,
he's always
not,
engaged.
we ain't never seen that, bro. Like, and that could be some PTSD shit, bro. Like everybody say he ain't get up and he
Gun
ain't get
guy,
knocked out, but shit, he got knocked down. AB ain't get knocked out either.
yeah,
AB ain't get knocked out. He got knocked down. He ain't
yeah,
get knocked out. He ain't get stopped, but he
yeah.
ain't fought the same since.
But I was on a question of also should these promoters start putting performance clauses in there? When you got a guy like William Skull, we're going to pay you 3 million, but if you don't show up for this fight, we're going to take 1 million away from you. And is that
Nah,
something? Are you only going to get half of that 3 million? You know what I mean?
nah, nah,
And
because
you
they
go.
life on the line at the end of the day. They
They
life
are.
still on the line.
Your life ain't on the line if you're going to run around. You know what I
Shit,
mean?
it is. I
Ain't nothing
mean,
on
your
the
life.
You might get a leg cramp or something. That's about it. Oh, I tore an Achilles.
But you got to know how to if you gonna run around, they got to make the ring smaller or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
or
If
something
you think
like.
you're a fighter like that, absolutely, man, start making that ring a little bit smaller. Because one thing I did notice about Canelo, even with Skull running around, he was still. I think a lot of fighters could learn, his cutting the ring off skills. Because even when this dude was running around, he was still able to cut him and then land them body shots on him consistently. I mean, he landed body shot after body shot.
What I think
Oh,
Canelo fucking up at right now, though, exposing himself to somebody like Terrence Crawford before he
oh yeah,
fight him, letting him see like, okay,
scouting him out.
dissect that's what he was doing with Earl Spence. When Earl Spence fought Ugas, and now he was watching them. They was watching like he got a real team. Like they was
But
watching. They was
how can you
watching.
stop him from doing that though? You can't
Huh?
really stop him from going to the fight. And even if you stop him from going to the
No,
fight,
no, no. He
you
wasn't
can't.
even watching. He was watching him on TV. I ain't saying stopping you. It's no way you're gonna stop a person from watching you. I'm saying Canelo should have just chilled. He should have chilled and not showed too much and let him go off his last fight with the other Mexican dude we fought instead of fighting this fight. Like, because now
Yeah,
it's like, okay,
Langa,
oh,
Langa.
I can see that jab he like throwing. I can see that hook. Like going off of this fight and that next fight is like a lot of homework. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Instead of him going off of that fight and then going back to fights like from back then, instead of when you was really putting on a good performance and you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know how Canelo performance was this fight, but you let somebody just run away from you and keep and not being able to, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen nobody run away from Terrence Crawford. It always been an engagement, so I can't say. But I'm just saying, like, he getting a lot of homework in right now. Like he chilling, he watching, he doing more film watching than he is in the lab. Now he's about to get in the lab and work on everything that you do wrong. What punches you throw heavy and you not about to bully him, bro. Like that shit. I don't know why people was saying like he Canelo too big. I've been saying that, bro. He's not too big, bro. He's not
No,
be
no.
about to be able to bully dude. Like, bro,
Oh,
yeah,
well,
tripping.
it-
Dude is
uh,
really crazy. Like,
yeah.
dude, you
Canelo,
gonna have to.
but outside of that, Crawford's putting that weight on really, really well, and he's got the reach. People don't want to believe that, but Crawford's got the reach on Canelo,
Yeah,
and
he
I
got
think
the he
a
got
lot
the
of
reach over Canelo. Yeah.
people, that hey, he's got that reach on Canelo that could give him a good advantage in that fight, especially with his jab, because he's got a great jab on him, and he can control a lot of that fight with that jab, keeping him on the outside, and then but Crawford's great at doing his plan and knowing how to approach each guy in the way he knows how to approach them. He's admitted that hey, you know, his power might be better than my power. That's the main thing
Man,
for
I gotta
Crawford.
work that day of that fight, bro. Ain't that some shit?
Man, you better call off. You got all this time, bro. You better tell them today.
Uh,
Hey, September. What is it? September 5th, or is it right around? It's always around that the
September 12th. It's September 12th.
September 12th. Man, I'll be like, bro, I'm going out of town
I
September 12th.
I can't. I can't. I got my vacation days is about to be used. Like the
Man,
rest of them for my birthday and then my
hmm
girl birthday. I'm sorry, bro. I'm gonna have to figure this out. I'm gonna have to take a break because I gotta watch this fight. I don't give a fuck.
yeah,
I
yeah,
got.
yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta. I gotta. I gotta. I
You
gotta
trade
be
the
in tune.
weekend. I'm gonna pick up this weekend and take this weekend off. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, I probably can train somebody the days though, but I might have to see. I'm gonna see what I can
yeah,
do.
that's a
Yeah,
fight, man. I'd love to get together on for real and figure out how we
yeah,
can watch that shit together for real, man.
yeah,
100%.
yeah, yeah,
What I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. That whole card might be fire.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what all they're gonna put together. I haven't heard any of the other, which
They probably put Shakur. They probably put Shakur on there. They
you
might
think,
put
but
Shakur on
when's he fight Zepeda? Isn't that sometime in July? You think
July.
he'll be
Yeah.
able to come on in September and fight again?
I don't know. Probably not. Who
Yeah,
they
because
gonna
I
put on that motherfucker? I don't
yeah
want
that
no
that
bum ass.
man. Why not put a Bivol versus the trilogy, Bivol and damn, what's his name? Benavidez, or not Benavidez, but the guy he just fought, man. Why the fuck can I remember that dude's name? Going blank. But put the trilogy fight for Bivol and dude on there. That'd be
Yeah.
nice because Bivol and Canelo, they had that beef. That'd be a nice little one to put on there as a co-main event to that. I think there's a lot of options for them, man. If they really kind of reach out there and engage in who they can put on there, because like we said, a lot of these guys haven't been active this year, so there'll be plenty of dudes that should be up to fight around that time. Now I know we do got some good fights coming up around June and July, really, and stuff like that. That's kind of starting to get the ball rolling for the summertime that are being announced. But so we'll see how that pans out, man. I think that's going to be a great fight. I don't have anything else on my side to talk about, my guy. You got anything else you want to conversate about, or any topics you want to bring up?
Yeah. Keyshawn versus Dallas Santos. How you feel about that?
Uh, De Los Santos is the one that fought Shakur, right?
Yeah.
And talked all that shit like he was going to go out there and dominate Shakur, and Shakur had a hurt hand and still dominated him. And dude didn't really interact that much. I'm not big on this fight. I think there's other people that could get an opportunity. It would be a better fight for a guy like Keyshawn, and I'm not sold on De Los Santos at all. If he didn't want to
They
engage
said
against,
dude cracking though.
they say that, but he didn't show me that against Shakur at all.
He
Uh,
ain't show me shit.
he didn't show me not a damn thing. So he's just
Shakur
not.
now hype attack like you fight Dallas Santos since you was man, dude ain't do nothing against you.
He did absolutely nothing, and Shakur had a hurt hand that he had to get surgery on after that fight. So I mean, he was pretty much fighting with one hand most of that fight, and dude still didn't really engage with him. So I mean, he's got to show me something against Keyshawn for me to throw him any kind of respect.
You
I
don't
think
think it's a danger fight for Keyshawn?
no, I think it's just another stepping stone for Keyshawn. He'll dominate this guy. I think he gets a knockout against De Los Santos, and then we can possibly get a better fight for him. It's time for
Who's
him to
a better fight? Who's his better fight?
Raymond Murtala. I'm gonna say it over and over and over and over. I'm gonna sound like a broken record.
I don't
Raymond
know who
Murtala.
that is, man.
Go check him out, man. He's a good little young fighter like Keyshawn. He just doesn't get the attention that Keyshawn gets. But that would be
See,
the
let me
fight
look
I
him
want
up.
to see. That's where I feel like he's really going to get tested is against a guy like Raymond Mortala, or we're really going to get to see where Keyshawn's at on
How
his
you
level.
spell his name?
Mortala, Muratella, something
What's
like
his
that.
first name?
Raymond.
Oh, matter of fact, it just popped up. Don't even worry
Yeah,
about it. Oh, you're talking about him
yeah, yeah.
with the
People
beard
sleeping
and
on
the
him, man.
hair.
People sleeping on him.
Who he fight?
He hasn't gotten that big opportunity. He's kind of like Keyshawn. He keeps fighting stepping stones, people that we know he's better than. And it just like I haven't figured out why they haven't put these two in the ring together or why it hasn't even come up in conversation. I don't know. I thought he was with Top Rank. I'm not for sure if he still is with Top Rank or not. But that's why I've always questioned why these two guys haven't fought each other.
Yeah,
Maybe Top Rank doesn't want to put
I'm
them in
hip
there.
going.
I don't know. But yeah, he's a pretty good little fighter, man. And I think that's who I'd like to see Keyshawn fight, not
Do he
Bella.
got a belt though?
No, he hasn't had an opportunity. He might be an interim champion or some shit. Everybody's an intern.
Shakur got the belt.
You know what I mean?
Keyshawn got a belt. Who else got it?
You got Tank with the belt. Did Loma
Yeah.
forfeit his belt? Because Loma should still have a belt.
Oh yeah, Loma got a
It'd
belt.
be Loma, Tank, Shakur, and Keyshawn with the belts. Nobody's got more than one at the moment, if I'm correct.
I'm
And all,
saying, so what's Shakur about to do though? I mean, he gonna keep chasing the Tank fight, and
I
if
mean,
Tank don't fight nobody, bro, I'm cool on Tank. I ain't gonna lie. If he don't fight, he
Shakur's got to
don't.
either chase Tank or Loma. If you want that big name fight, it's got to be Tank or Loma. You go in there, put on a performance against a guy like Cepeda,
And then
and
who gonna
then
Keyshawn gonna fight?
man, he's younger. I mean, like Raymond Murtala, put him in there against him. The winner of that, then you can line him up against a Loma, or even put him in there against. You got to step up at some point. Tank might be too much, but Loma might be too much. But you got to take that stepping stone at some
No,
point.
I don't think
And there's
Loma too
really
much
nobody
for
else for
Keyshawn.
them. And there might be other guys in that division that I'm missing and I'm forgetting about. If I'm correct, Espinoza, if I'm right, he's a 135 guy. And if he's at 135 and we see him tonight put on a nice little performance because he's got a good little fight against Vasquez, so if he puts on another good performance, then you got to start dropping his name out there at 135 as somebody that can possibly be a good fight for guys like Keyshawn.
Man, I don't know, bro. Like they got that shit. Like we not fighting, so one of y'all move up then. God damn, when
Yeah,
y'all not gonna fight each other, move up. I'm trying to either
I
you
mean,
gonna
but
get the
think about
tank
it.
fight or I'm gonna get the tank fight. Tank might not even fight y'all, but I don't know what tank on, man. He
And if you're
acting like
Keyshawn moving to 140, is a possibility he can do it. And there's so much talent at 140, man. We talked about that. It is a pretty good division that
but I don't
where
think he wanna move up there because his brother up there.
but he ain't gonna fight his brother. We know that.
I
Uh,
know, but that's just
his
like, all
younger
right,
brother
if I
or
go
his older brother? Is his younger brother up there?
I think his big brother at 140, his younger brother, I
Robert?
think at 147.
Okay. His young
So
brother at 147. Now I'd like to see him in some more fights for sure.
he just fought the other day. He fought a fucking. Oh, I hate when they be hype when they fighting a fucking taxi driver. Like he fought a taxi driver. Like
Yeah.
I don't be liking that shit, bro.
Top Rank's known for that shit though, man. They put him in their first 10 fights against taxi drivers, construction
Yeah,
work. And ain't nothing against those guys, but they're just not that level, that these guys should
yeah.
be. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the same thing we say with our guy, Mason Abdullah Mason. When does he eventually step it up to better competition?
Hey, he about to fight Nika whoever Shakur fought the one Nicotin the Olympian dude. But no, he about to fight him on Keyshawn card at 130. What was it? 130, 35? Yeah.
Yep.
I can't
Yeah, so
take a
that might
doing
be a
that.
good little fight for him for sure, and a little step up fight, no doubt. Let's see what time we got here. My God, 5:58. All right, man. I got to get ready for my Bible study and shit like that, man. Hit
Yes,
these guys
sir.
up. Absolutely, brother. You already know, man. It's always the best when I get to get on here with you. do our thing on our show, get our show going. Like I said, we might miss an episode, but we don't miss a beat on Bourbon and Boxing, baby. And let my guy Spade tell you everything we need to do. Take us out of here, my guy.
You already know. Like, subscribe, comment, bring the kids if you want to the and watch us. You know,
We're,
we
we're pretty
babysit, we
cool.
do daycare.
You see
But
my kid
nah,
getting nerve.
like, subscribe, comment. You already know, man. Keep it
Yeah,
going, man.
absolutely, man. Once again, episode 98 of Bourbon and Boxing, man. You're going to get the smoothest sips and the hardest hits, baby. Best podcast, boxing
I ain't
podcast.
enjoy these fights either. I'm gonna tell you that $90 they got over, man.
Boy, they ain't getting me for it. That's why I got a fire stick. I ain't falling for that bullshit. Not today. All right, man.
I text my little brother like, "Hey, man, that was terrible." He was like, "What?" I said, "Them fights." What you talking about?
It wasn't a great week. Not the weekend I thought we were going to get, especially
Yeah.
five. Man.
After
Uh,
all the fights I've been missing, that was not that wasn't
yeah,
it.
yeah, the one you finally got to, and you're like, what the fuck is
Yeah,
happening right now? Yeah,
right.
definitely three, especially three big names like that who are supposed to be like elite fighters in the sport of boxing, and then what we got out of that definitely was pretty disappointing. No doubt about it. But like I said, guys, tune in to our next episode, episode 99, and thank you for joining us for episode 98 with your boy, the Cowboy, and
Spade.
Spade, not just Spade, Big Spade up in this motherfucker. All right, guys, peace out.